So how often are we talking to investor clients? And those investor clients always want to know, what do the numbers look like? Always my first meeting with an investor client is always, hey, I want to do this thing. What do you think? How much money am I going to make? And I think one of the biggest problems for agents right now is, I don't know, Jen's really good. I don't know if she can do all this math in her head without having this stuff ready to go, right? Also, the strategy could change. So maybe you flip it to sell, maybe you flip it to rent. It could be all sorts of things. But how are we going to run all the proformas all at one time? And so the nice thing now is that we're going to use AI both in terms of building a project brief, and then we're also going to then take that brief. We're going to input it into an AI agent that will help us build an app. And you guys can follow along with me because we're going to do this in real time. And my goal is in less than 60 minutes, you all will have something you could actually use right now to output results. So this is how easy it is, or straightforward rather, maybe not super easy. And let's get started. So work for everybody? Great. Let me share my screen. We're going to be doing this training on Claude. Claude right now is my preferred LLM. We've talked about this a few different times in different trainings that we've hosted. And I just feel right now Claude has taken ChatGPT to the woodshed. I know Matt at our firm also likes Grok, but I've just become a Claude convert. Claude Code is one of the most ridiculously powerful systems I've ever used. And so now I'm just full Anthropic Claude, especially because they kind of gave the finger to the DoD, which I really like. So that was a nice little thing for consumer privacy, in my opinion. Anyway, let's get started. So problem number one is we need to come up with a formula, right? We don't even know right now. I don't know. So if an investor says, I want to know what the numbers look like, I think we need to take a step back and be like, what numbers do you want? Like, what do you want to know? How much money you're going to make, what your return is going to be. Are you talking about yield? There are a lot of different things that different investors might care about. And so it's really important for us as we're designing this to make sure that we're designing a tool that our investors and we're actually going to be able to use to give us real results. So we're going to start in Claude today. And I'm going to show you guys how to prompt it. You can follow along. I'm going to try and keep this as simple as possible. So first of all, always try and give your AI context. So I'm a real estate broker who is working with an investor client who is considering either a flip to sell strategy or a flip to rent strategy, right? I'm looking to build a simple tool that will allow me to run both scenarios on the property simultaneously and create a simple pro forma. Oh no, the keyboard's been acting up on me a little bit. Proforma and Replit. Okay, so Replit is the tool we're going to use to create the app. Right now, we're just in Claude Code. Claude Code does know what Replit is. In fact, Replit uses Claude Code as its coding backend, which I just learned about, which is pretty cool. So, anyway, so before we write the full brief, what questions would you have about what this app should do? So generally, I think one of the best things that you can ask AI, or when you're prompting your AI, I think one of the best things that you can always do is ask it, what else do I need to know? What am I not thinking about, right? And this is something that I think is going to continue to be more and more interesting as AI gets smarter and smarter and smarter. Gen 1 AI 2 or 3 years ago, we talked to it like, do this, because like we knew better and it didn't really know what was going on. AI now in 2026, going into the future, arguably it's so much smarter than us, it can do whatever it wants. So oftentimes us telling it what to do might not be the optimal thing. So asking it like, what else should I think about? How would you do this? Like what other context am I missing? It's a really powerful tool in your prompting for a little powerful arrow in your quiver when you're prompting AI. So let's see what's going on. So here now it outputs some questions. So I would say, what do we need for inputs? Let's make it pretty detailed, but not excessive. Purchase price, closing costs, rehab budget, holding costs would be great. So do we want to model financing separately, i.e. a refi out of our money loan into DSCR conventional loan after stabilization? I don't know. What do you think? That gets kind of complicated. Do we want to try and get AI to do that? Why not? Yeah, let's do that. Let's model rental with the financing as you described. Assume same rehab per strategy. It might not always be that way, but we're just going to make it simple for this tool. Let's put in simple flip to sell outputs. Ooh, slider for ARV would be great. Let's show a 5-year pro forma on the rental. Let's include all those income statements. So those are income statement lines. We'll talk about it in a second. So we're just kind of going through and answering the questions, right? Sure. Let's recalc basis. Why not? Let's keep on 2 separate tabs that allow for different scenarios with an input tab. And we're just going through and answering it. Let's make a downloadable. Sure, PDF. Why not? That sounds great. We can send it. Let's build this for just me. UI should be simple and somewhat polished, but we're just beta right now. All right, cool. This is a lot of answers, a lot of questions. So as you can see, when you ask AI, what else should I be thinking about? And you give it free reign to ask, hey, what else should I be thinking about? Sometimes you can get a lot more than what you might be bargaining for in terms of answering the question. So I do think, once again, Claude is really good at this. If you're going to be using different AI LLMs, like I said, ChatGPT, you can use ChatGPT to do it. You might prompt it slightly differently. XAI is going to be the same. This is Anthropic, Claude. Just go through whatever process you want. And really what we're trying to do is get the LLM to write a brief. So imagine if you could hire your own software developer to build you this tool. One problem might be that the software developer that we're going to hire to build this tool can only create software that we then direct that person to do. They're not really going to go off and think about all these other things. They're also not going to try and fill in blanks for you, because you hired a software developer and you're giving them instructions and you're going to tell them this is exactly how we're going to do this thing, right? Think about your AI agents you're going to have build the software similar to what you'd be doing. I think about AI as thinking about an employee who doesn't really know how to do something. If you give it instructions similar to what you would give a software developer, well, I don't really know what I want. I want a calculator and it needs to do some things and flip to rent and flip to sell. Go figure that out for me. You have no idea what that output is going to look like, right? Go build something. Here you go. Well, that's not what I wanted. When we're prompting AI, especially AI agents, we want to be as specific as possible. And so sometimes when we're asking it to do things that we might not be experts in, i.e. creating a rental pro forma, we can use AI or another AI tool to then be that expert to help us write the brief. So if we then get a very specific brief on, hey, software developer, this is what I want to do, and then we upload it into that developer agent, then that developer agent is going to have a much easier time building exactly what we want it to be, right? So this is why we're going through this process right now with Claude and having it ask questions and tell us what to do, because you really want to make sure that this detailed brief aligns with what you want. And if it doesn't, we're going to tell Claude to fix it, because as soon as we upload this into Replit and tell it to go, it's going to do everything on this brief. So let's review our brief now and see what this looks like. So, wow, this is a lot of information. All right, hold on one second. Still scrolling up. Great time for my computer to be giving me a hissy fit. So, all right. So, rehab budget, closing costs, flip to rent. This might be too many assumptions. This feels like a lot of assumptions, right? But I think what I might ask, at least just for this case, is to show you an example of what we can do. I think what we're going to do is we're going to ask Claude, just make this a little simpler. This is really cool and also very, very detailed. Might be too detailed for this tool. Can you propose a new brief that eliminates about 1/3 of the inputs. We're going to let Claude figure this out right now. So what it's doing is it's slimming down the brief. It's going to output it again here on the right. And really all we're trying to do at this point is get to a brief that we can upload into Replit, have Replit read it, say, okay, great, let's go. And so once we get to that brief and we're satisfied with it, we're going to save it onto our hard drive. We're going to be, at least for purposes of this training class, we're going to be okay with it in this version. We're not going to try and make it absolutely perfect because I told you we're going to do this in less than an hour. I've only got 45 minutes left. I could be playing with this Proforma all day. So let's just kind of review this one more time, make sure it generally feels pretty good, and see what we're doing. So Wes, I'm going to ask for your opinion here, man. You tell me if there's anything that you see really wrong here, or if we're good to go. So we got the property address, price, rehab budget, timeline, some financing assumptions. I feel like this, what do you think, Wes? Does this feel pretty good for a calculator? It's like, Jared, whatever, man. Just teach the class. I'm here to learn. All right, cool. Stop thinking.
That looks great.
It looks great. All right, awesome, sweet. Cool. So let's just download this. We're going to download this. It came out as an MD file. That's totally fine. Markdown file. Not a big deal. You can do it as Word. You can do it as text. It's fine. AI is really smart at the end of the day. So don't worry about it too much.